Hey YouTube, my name is Tristan Ripley and welcome back to the Chill Corner. Today I'm going to be talking about how and why I got into online music reviewing and rating, starting in 2018 when I made my first Instagram account for music rating. My reviews on Instagram were very short, very brief, and very amateur. I didn't really know a whole lot about music at the time. This was 2018, 2019. I was really just getting started in the online music rating sphere. I didn't have any friends in it, and I didn't know of any websites where you could go to rate music, so I was just doing it solely on Instagram. I would post a picture of the cover, I'd put a number over the cover which represented my rating, and then in the description of the picture I would explain how I got to that score with very little detail because I didn't fully understand my own taste at the time and I was just developing an understanding of how to review music. In 2020 though, I discovered a website called albumoftheyear.org and everything changed. But it all starts with Last.fm. Yes, on Last.fm is where I discovered most of the other music-related websites online, and it's where I discovered a lot of online music rating culture. You see, I didn't know anything before, and when I discovered Last.fm, I saw discussions in shout boxes of different artists and comment sections of albums and such, where people were talking about other websites and Discord servers, and I started noticing, wow, there's actually a whole online community for this. I should try to figure out where I can go to post my reviews instead of on Instagram, and that was when I found out about albumoftheyear.org. I created my Album of the Year account in February of 2020, and it was a big decision. I didn't know it at the time, but it would completely change the direction of my life. You see, I started to review very, very regularly, and although my reviews were still very poor, they were getting better and I was showing improvements. I was showing some understanding of the music that I was listening to. As time went on, I discovered some users who had very different tastes than the tastes that I had seen before. Instead of listening to a lot of rock music and hip-hop music and pop music, these users focused more on jazz and classical and experimental music that I had never seen before. This was a big shock to me. I didn't know that users could have such different tastes from each other. It was like the complete opposite. The things that most people loved were the things that this person hated. One of these users was named Ingloom, and he had by far the biggest impact on me. I used his account, which now only exists on Rate Your Music, but I used his account for so many music recommendations, it really helped me out. Now, that is what I encourage a lot of you to do. If you are starting out a journey of music rating, I highly encourage finding a few specific users who you really connect with and who you have a similar taste to, and then getting recommendations through that user. It seems to be one of the best ways to find new music. As my taste continued to develop and I got more interest in these more abstract genres, I started to sort of fall out of the community of Album of the Year. I was at one point the most followed user other than Brad Taste in Music, but as I stopped reviewing and started focusing more on the academic side of music, I started to lose some attention, and that was a gradual thing, and it was something that I knew was going to happen eventually because I knew I wasn't going to keep up this little like micro celebrity thing going on Album of the Year. I didn't really enjoy it and I wanted it to stop. So I moved from there over to Rate Your Music. I didn't want to deal with all the drama that was being developed on Album of the Year anymore, and the community really I took a hit from the community, from a side of the community at least, that really disliked some aspects of who like I am and some things that I've done. And basically, because I enjoyed an album that was really strange and different than what most people listen to, I was attacked and harassed, and then I fought back and they fought back, and it was this back and forth until I basically just gave up and moved completely to Rate Your Music, which is a website that has a much bigger database than Album of the Year, but has overall a less tight-knit community. You can kind of join Rate Your Music and just be your own person and do your own thing instead of having to interact with a lot of other people. And you don't necessarily have to do that on Album of the Year, but it's certainly a lot more difficult considering how much more tight-knit of a community Album of the Year is. From then on, I just continued to work on my taste and study music for the coming years, and now I have been using Rate Your Music for years. I've been using Album of the Year for 4 years. My Album of the Year account is now solely used for ratings that come from this channel instead, and my Rate Your Music account is used for all of my over 6,000, actually nearing on 7,000 ratings now. But overall, that is how I ended up where I am. That is a quick little recap of my music journey, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.